Hi, my friends, and welcome to this week's episode of Forte Catholic. I'm so glad that you are here. We have a great guest this week where we talk a lot about modern Catholic dating that I think you're going to enjoy, whether you're a single person or like me, already married, but have some other single people in your Catholic circles that you maybe want to help them find some love. So that's what today's episode is about. For those of you that would have noticed, last week we didn't have an episode because something that I've been working on in the background for quite some time now is launching the first published audiobook created and edited and produced by Forte Catholic. So if you would like to check out our audiobook, you can do so for free on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Forte Catholic. It is Practice of the Presence of God by Brother Lawrence, one of the great classic Catholic spiritual life books. I love it. It's one of my favorites. I read it for you. We got it all edited down. I think it's pretty good. So if you have read the book and it's been a while, you want to do it through an audio, it's only about an hour long. You can listen to it on our YouTube. Or if you are on Apple Podcasts, you can subscribe to Forte Plus right there in your Apple Podcasts app and listen to it right here in your feed. And if you really want to try it out, you can do a free trial of Forte Plus in Apple Podcasts at any time and check it out. So those are the two ways you can listen to it, Apple Plus or Forte Plus on Apple Podcasts, or anybody can listen, youtube.com/Forte Catholic. I hope that you enjoyed today's show with Taylor O'Brien. Hello there, and welcome into Forte Catholic. I am Taylor Schroll. We have a very special treat today. For the first time in the 10-year history of this show, a second Taylor has descended upon you, whether you wanted it to or not. But the good news is the other Taylor isn't like this Taylor. She's lovely, she's kind, she's nice, something you've not received from me in the last decade. So Taylor from Candid Dating, hello, how are you?
Hello, thank you. What an introduction. It's great to be with another Taylor always.
It is unbelievable that this show's been going on for 10 years. My name is Taylor, and yet there hasn't been another singular Taylor on here. I guess I'm territorial. I don't understand. I don't know why this happened. But.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
So one of the things about being in, the Catholic podcasting, because I get emails all the time about like this Catholic project, that Catholic project. And for the most part, it's like, thanks for your email, but I'm not interested, right? And then yours came across because even specifically about something that you're doing, I've even gotten some other like Catholic dating things before. And I was just like, look, I've been married for 12, 13 years. It's just not in my interest. And then yours came. And I got this email, and it said speed dating. So I have a weird connection to speed dating, and here's my weird connection.
Tell me.
I have. So you're going to teach me about a couple of things, the whole online dating world, and all these things. But I'm one of those weird people that nobody likes to hear me talk about Catholic dating because I started dating my wife in college at 19. We got married at 21, and we've been married ever since. Like nobody likes that dating story because it's not the modern dating story. We did it the old school way, right? So and with the age I am, I just missed online dating. Like online dating was just becoming a thing with all of these apps. But so I don't regret. I feel for people who have to do the online dating thing, right? Yeah. But the one thing that I feel like I missed out on in my dating life, I feel like I would have crushed at speed dating, and I'll never be able to prove this. I'll never be able to test this theory. I'll never be able to try it. And you have a Catholic speed dating thing. So I'm like, we've got to talk. We've got to talk
I love it.
This.
No, I love your enthusiasm. It makes me excited. It's great. And you're right. You definitely missed the window.
Yeah, I did. My poor wife does not want to hear me talk about speed dating because she's like, yeah, you probably would be good at it. But so tell us about Candid.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for having me. And also, honored to be someone that you can talk about dating with here. I'm excited to share. We have a Catholic speed dating app. And right now we're on the web, I guess, technically when we're recording this, and then our app will launch at the end of the month. But we host virtual speed dating events for Catholic singles all across the country, sometimes in person. But I entered the dating scene after ending an engagement. And like you, I had met someone in college, and we were going to get married, and then ended up calling off the wedding. And if anybody's ever been through that experience, I just know, like, I'm with you. I don't wish that on anyone. It was a terrible suffering in my life, but also the most beautiful time I've ever spent with our Lord. And I was able to really sit with him for long, long hours in prayer and say, Lord, okay, what do you want for my life? What does this dating thing look like? If that wasn't it, show me. And so I got to kind of walk with him back into the dating scene. And as I reemerged, if you will, dating apps and meeting with people online was kind of the norm. And I was like, this is terrible. This is absolutely awful. I don't enjoy any of this. And I think it's great. You know, people meet their spouses on swiping apps all the time. And praise God for that they exist, that people can use technology to get in contact with the people that they end up spending the rest of their lives with. But for me, I just felt like a product. I felt like big tech, and this is data now. Back then, it was a feeling, but now we know. They have found a way to pinpoint every insecurity, every shortcoming that we have as human beings and really play on that in those swiping apps. So since you met your wife the old-fashioned way, as they say, right now you would log into a dating app and you would get hundreds of options of people. You see a photo and a bio, maybe like a clever little something about them. And that's how you decide whether or not they're worthy of swiping right or left. And for me, I wanted to encounter people. And I felt like they weren't getting to encounter me by just looking at my photo. And so after that experience, I just started an Instagram account, and I was like, okay, I want to meet other Catholic women who are in the same season as in the same season as life, in life, as I am. Thank you.
Of life. You did it. We all got
life. There we go. Yeah. I wanted to meet women like that. And I wanted to feel what they were feeling too and see, is it just me that's feeling this way? Like, are they having better luck than I am? And as I started hosting meetups virtually and in person, I was getting to talk to all these women. And then as my page grew, men started finding my page and they were like, hey, I see you're with these Catholic women. Who's that? Can you introduce me to your friend? And I was like, this is awesome. I can see both sides. Catholic women think that the men don't exist, and the Catholic men think that the women don't exist. Either there's no one out there for me, or, there's just no good Catholic men anymore. And I had a very unique perspective because I was like, I see you both. You're both right here. And you just don't know how to connect or get to each other. And so, at the time, I was running football operations at a school district here in Texas. That was my background.
Wait, what?
And, setting out to build an app was not in the plans for me. It just, like I said, through my experience, was something that I became very passionate about, giving Catholic singles something different. And so, getting into tech was not anything that I saw in my future. I'm a football girl. I'm a coach's kid. My husband's a coach. And so this is definitely a sidestep. But I snuck into our school computer lab, and I hand matched people and put them into groups, and found this website online that I was able to use to introduce these different groups of people, whether it be by like age, location, interest, whatever information they gave me about themselves. And I was able to introduce them to each other via speed dating through a website that I found that was supposed to be like a corporate networking site. It was not supposed to be a speed dating site, but that's what we turned it into. And so something that I thought I was doing was just, introducing singles to one another. I thought this was going to be like a one and done thing. But people gave the feedback of, I loved being able to talk and interact with the person that I was, quote, dating. I loved not being judged by my photo. I loved being able to see a smile, hear a laugh. It was a totally different experience. And so I hosted that event like 2 more times before it just became unrealistic to be able to do it again. And my friend who helped me actually found his wife through this process. She's now my co-founder.
Wow,
and the 3 of us were like,
it works. Let's just, from the beginning, it works.
It's great. It works. Yeah. So the 3 of us were like, why don't we make this a thing? He's in tech. He had a team of developers, and he said, see what they can build you. And so my friend and I, my co-founder, we spent the next like year and a half building what is now Candid Dating, which is a virtual speed dating platform for Catholic singles where you sign up for an event and you meet 5 to 7 singles for 5 to 7 minutes at a time who are compatible to you based on age, location, interest, all the information you give us in your onboarding.
That's awesome.
That was a very long-winded answer to your question.
No, it was good. It was good. So if you'll forgive me just being honest for a moment. Sometimes women don't like it when I'm honest. But I'm honest about the stuff with my wife, so I'm going to be honest with you. And it's a long-winded way to say I like what you're doing. So my wife and I have this thing where we watch television together, and we've been married for long enough that both of us are honest enough. We're like, yes, that is a very attractive man on television. Yes, that is a very attractive woman on television. Like, we don't have to hide the fact that people are attractive, right? And there are levels of attractiveness to different people. Okay, so the joke that I have with my wife is like, okay, that woman on television is like gorgeous, but the character she's playing, like, I'm not attracted to at all. So, like, if I was on a dating app and swiping, I'd probably swipe, what is it, right? Is if you like them? I don't even know.
Yeah, swipe right. Yep.
Okay, I would probably.
We don't have swiping, so.
Right, I know. Yeah, exactly.
So I had to think about it.
Right. So like,
swipe right.
I would probably swipe right on this woman, but if I met this character, it's like she's mean and rude and gross and all that stuff. So like, it takes like the attractiveness down because I am attracted to personality, right? But on the opposite, it's like, okay, there's this woman who maybe she's not the most attractive person, but her personality is bubbly and loving and she's very caring. It's like that bumps her up on how attractive she is. So my wife and I always laugh whenever we're watching women on television, and it's like, I am way more attracted to this person who maybe isn't a 10 out of 10 scale than I am to the woman who maybe is physically a 10 out of 10. So it's this whole like, I get what you're saying about the swiping right, swiping left, where it's all based on like 3 sentences or blurbs and a photo, where like literally the old school way of meeting, like I met girls when I was in college that were drop dead gorgeous, and then I would talk to them for 2 minutes and be like, nah, like I'm not interested, and I would move on and talk to somebody else. That's just how college works, right? And then I would meet other people who maybe weren't the bombshell on campus. I'm like, I think I'm in love with you because of how you treat me and how you treat other people and how loving you are. And it's like, you can't get that in swiping right and swiping left, but you can
100%.
Out of a conversation, which is why I like how this works. So when I can't go, my wife wouldn't let me go to the speed dating, even if it's online. So like, if somebody signs up for this, what does it look like? How long do they get to talk? Is it randomized? Like, what does the actual events look like?
Yes. So you create an account with us and you answer a series of onboarding questions that feeds the founders. And then also we have an algorithm that we've created to help us match you internally. And whenever your account is approved, you'll see a list of events that's curated to you. So your list of events and my list of events could be different based on our age, location, interest, what's important to us. But you would sign up for one of those events, or in the app, you just book one of those events with us. And you are walked through an event. You show up or log in at the time and the date, and you are walked through an event where you meet 5 to 7 single Catholics for 5 to 7 minutes at a time. So minimum you should be meeting is 5. If you're not, there's an issue. And then you meet at least 5, max 7 on an event. And then after each conversation, you can say simply, yes, I would like to continue the conversation, or no, I would not, in our feedback form. And then at the end of the event, once you've talked to everyone that you're going to talk to for the evening, you receive your list of matches where you're able to chat on our platform, on our app in Candid. So you don't have to give any information. And you're able to, from there, exchange numbers, go to coffee, whatever. We have a feature that actually turns off your communication after 48 hours. So if you don't have any intention of moving the conversation off the app, you don't have to do that. But you won't be able to stay on the app and chat back and forth for hours on end, days, weeks, months, like you can in the secular apps. But in our app that's launching at the end of the month, we actually have a feature that will serve you candid connections, which are curated matches for you based on what we know about you and the other people who use Candid. And if you decide that you would like to chat with someone that we introduce you to through your Candid connections, you can then set up a one-on-one video call. So still, you're able to hop on and do exactly what we're doing right now.
That's awesome. I love this idea so much. And I feel like...
Thank you.
Because I'm 35 and I have friends my age who are still single. And then... especially like the 5 years younger kind of crowd, like a lot of friends that are that are still single. And I like, it's almost like what I hear the most as somebody who's married, and I get their complaints of like, it's like I go to church and it's all 75-year-old women or 75-year-old men, depending on the person, right? Or I met there's this one person at my local parish, and he's kind of a weirdo, and I don't want to talk to him. So and I don't want to go on these Bumble or secular sites or whatever. So they just kind of like essentially give up in the dating world. Like they're still happy, they're still going to work, they're still going to church, they're still living life, but like kind of cut dating out. And I feel like this is an easy way. Like I will be recommending this to single people and like the young adults group at our parish, because it's,
Thank you.
I feel like I can recommend it safely. And I feel like, look, I can't do this. Can you go have fun? Like I kind of want to do this, but my wife won't allow it. Can you go do it and try this out? So I just think it's an easy, we talk a lot about like evangelization in the church. I know this isn't necessarily evangelization, it's trying to further, marriage and kind of part of it. But like one of the things for evangelization is like, look, we want people to be catechized, but we have no or very few ways to onboard people, to get people kind of into the system with something very easy, like a party or a game night or something. It's always like, come to adoration. It's like, that's a hard thing to invite somebody new to, right? Where like, this is an easy thing to invite people who are single, who are searching for their forever person, or even just to kind of put themselves out there after a long time not dating, or after something like what you went through, like and whatever the hard season was, of just like, look, this is easy. It's not a huge commitment. You get on, and maybe you strike out and you don't like all 7 of them, or maybe you like 3 out of the 7. You keep talking to one. Like, I just like the kind of ease and simplicity of it. So when it comes to the questions, do y'all have like suggested questions, or like, are y'all kind of helping with the conversation, or you just put me and a stranger in a room and figure it out? A virtual room.
We do have, that's a great question. We do have that feature coming on the app. So when the app launches, after we're live for a few weeks, we'll have a feature like what you described. Right now, you're just like this. You're put in a room with someone, and we definitely believe. And one thing that we're seeing, especially with young people, Candid can be used as a tool for what you described, people who are needing the reps of conversation, right? Like that's what my husband calls it. Just come in and get some reps.
That's the football coaching of
that's exactly what it is. But it's a low pressure environment. You already share the same worldview. You share the same faith. You have, you already know enough about the person to strike up a conversation. And it's something we just wanted to take the pressure off.
Yeah. And one thing too that I've seen about like some of the other Catholic dating sites is I'm not on them, so I typically see screenshots where like a lot of the questions at the beginning are things like it's like stances on like relatively controversial teachings of the church. And I'm not saying the teachings are controversial, but those teachings are controversial in our current day. And I'm just like, why? I never went on my date in the old school dating world where like the first thing that I asked them was like, hey, what political party are you part of? Or hey, what do you think about XYZ teaching in the church? That's never where it starts. Like you go and you're like, where'd you go to school? What sports did you play? Do you like football? Like you start with
common
those
ground.
things. Yeah. And then like once you get 6, 9, 12, 15 months into the relationship, or heck, even 10 years into the marriage, you're like, all right, what do you really feel about controversial topic? I just always thought that was a weird starting ground, or a tough starting ground, because it's like, look, if we agree on 95% of things, maybe we can, like my wife and I have been happily married for 13 years. There are things we don't agree on. Like they're just fundamental things that we don't agree on, but we agree on 95% of fundamental things. And the other 5, we're at the point now where we just kind of roll our eyes at each other. We move on and we don't talk about that. The other 95 is great. And so I like that this is like, it's kind of like the old school meets the new school, right? Old school, sit down with somebody, have a conversation, get to know them, let them kind of get your vibe, personality, you get theirs as well. And if it works, it works. And if not, you move on. Like, I love it.
Yeah, thank you. And to your point, that's something that really noticed back again, whenever I was dating, is the pressure that I felt and the pressure that everyone around me felt. It was like you were looked at under a magnifying glass and it was a pressure cooker of just like have to meet the right person. They have to align in every single category. And I must know that on date one to make sure that this is something that I can like pray about moving forward. And I just wanted to give people an opportunity to say, hold on. Yes, we ask questions kind of like what you described in the beginning to make sure that we're matching people with similar, that they're coming from similar points of view. But the first encounter that you have with someone, you should not be laying it on as thick as you just talked about, right? Like you were supposed to enjoy this person. Did they make you laugh? Did they make you smile? And the only question that we encourage singles, and we have this in our app too, to ask after the first conversation is, do I want to have another?
Right.
Not, do I want to marry this person? Do I want to meet his mother? Do I want to go home to her family? Do I feel like we're going to spend Christmas together? Do we need to have kids right away? Like, just enjoy the conversation, because contrary, like to popular belief, you do have to have some kind of that, like, flow in conversation. You should be somewhat attracted, dare I say, to the person that you're, going to spend the rest of your life with. And so let's cut all that out for right now and just enjoy the first conversation that we have. Because something, like I said, that we found was we had gotten to a point where, and although good intentions, right? Like it's a good thing to want to match and meet and marry someone who you are sharing, you're trying to be saints together. You're trying to get them to heaven. So that is a good and holy and noble thing to keep in mind. But let's just see if we can have a fun conversation first.
Right. Yeah. I love that. And we had a conversation about, I'm on our pastoral council for our church.
Okay.
And we were talking about a new ministry that we did. And essentially it was like, how did it go? We were like, not perfect, but we want to do it again. And like, that's what you're talking about with the dating.
That's
it's
it.
Like, it wasn't perfect, but I would like to meet with this person again. I feel like there's something there. So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And it's funny because I perked up when you said the football connection, because I played football. My son's playing junior high football right now. I ran track in college. It's like athletics have always been a big part of it. And like, while you were talking about the speed dating, of like, you're talking about the pressure of going on a date. And like a lot of my single friends, like that's where like, I just don't want the pressure of having to go meet somebody. We got set up. Like, what if I meet them and within 5 minutes, I'm like, I hate this person. I have to sit at this Chili's with them and pay for their dinner after an hour and a half. It's like, I don't want to do that. Right. But that's like a boxing match where it's like you go in and you either get knocked out or you win, right? And it goes well. Where with football, like I had a conversation with my son about his last football game. It's like he had like 80% really good plays and 20% not so good plays, right? Where it's like, look, there's some things to work on, but it's like we can walk away from this positively. We have some positive momentum because that was a higher percentage of good plays that we had the week before. And I feel like with the speed dating thing, it's like it's way less pressure because, like, look, I don't have to have 7 out of 7 good plays.
No.
7 out of 7 good conversations. If I have 1 or 2, even if I just have 1, but let's say I have 1 really good one and 1 pretty good one and 5 were duds. Okay, 5 were duds. I had 5 bad plays, but at least I had these 2 or 3 that I was pretty good. I just feel like it takes the pressure off of like, can I be a perfect person? Because let's be honest, that's what everybody's trying to do on a first date. Can I be a perfect person for an hour and a half? It's like, can you be decent for 7 minutes? Like,
that's so true. I love the football connection too, or the reference, because that's how we look at it through faith, and football is our lens over here. So I can definitely appreciate.
We have the same glasses.
Yeah. It's great.
Very funny.
Yeah.
So you talked about, one of the things I wanted to hear was success stories. So you talked about your co-founder having a success story. You also told me before we got on that you have a maiden name. So apparently something has worked out for you. So both your success story, but then also what are some of the success stories you've heard since the site launched?
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Yeah. My co-founders, they were success. Awesome. My husband and I, unfortunately, we actually met while we were building Candid. So didn't know what Candid was going to turn into. We met in the computer lab days at a football camp. So we did not meet through the platform, but Marcel and Alicia, one of our sweet couples, they got married just this past June. Wow. And we have a wedding coming up here in the fall, and then a couple of engagements that I got some phone calls about over the last few weeks that are coming through some of the events that we were hosting. So we're just now at the mark where we've been live long enough to be able to see those relationships bear some fruit. And we've also had some calls from people who maybe dated, there's a couple that dated 6 months, 9 months. And we always try to follow up and learn about our couples and, how their relationships are going, or if they discerned out. And just want to note, like, discerning out of a relationship is also a success. But I found it really beautiful that we had some couples that ended up dating and then not deciding to get married, both call and say, I really appreciated the relationship. I learned so much. It was great to be able to be with someone who was Catholic that I could share my worldview with. And now I feel like I'm ready to move to a point where I'm actually, like, I'm ready for marriage. And I thought that that was really cool because, first of all, I think it's a great perspective to keep. And then because, a lot of these, we were at Seek last year with the college kids. They're phenomenal. A lot of them think that they'll talk to the one person that they'll talk to, and then that's who they're going to end up marrying. Or they don't want to date much. They would rather just wait for the one. And I am gladly here to tell them and to share with them, you should be dating. You should date many people. I'm not saying that you should date like the way that the world shows us to date, but you need to get out there and have some conversations and, go on some dates, learn about yourself, learn about the person, what you like in a relationship, the person that you're dating. And so it's been really encouraging. Yes, the weddings are great, the engagements that have happened, the engagements that are coming, but also what tools we can give singles to walk away with that they feel encouraged and confident in their conversation skills. They feel like they're valued and that they're using a product that authentically speaks to their humanity in the sense that they're able to be a full person through the Candid experience instead of just a photo. So all of those things that I just described, we would definitely consider success.
I like that you consider even like an eventual breakup a success.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You didn't see this coming because I didn't see this coming. I did not see me bringing up Ariana Grande in this conversation. But
okay, let's go.
You know the song "Thank You Next," right?
Yes.
It was one of her big hits. So like, I connected a lot with that song. Look, I'm not saying she's perfect or she's the perfect example of dating. That's not what I'm saying at all. But the whole idea of that song is she's going back and thanking her ex-boyfriend. She's like, from this boyfriend, I learned this about dating. From this boyfriend, I learned this about myself. From this boyfriend, I learned this. And for this, and that was like, I had talked about that for years from the girls that I dated before my wife. It's like my first girlfriend that I had in high school taught me how to love a woman, taught me how to be a boyfriend, taught me how to be a partner to a woman. Because before, all I had was male friendships, right? And she, for better or worse on her part, she taught me how to love a girl, to love a woman, right? And then some other relationships, just like some Ariana's, maybe I learned about myself of like one girlfriend. It's like, look, I like you and you're a lovely Catholic girl. I'm just not attracted to you for this many reasons. So I learned something about myself. The next one I learned, that's probably not, Taylor, you shouldn't be doing that. That's what, like I learned about myself. Like I learned things from these people to where like I can look back and be like, look, did I make some mistakes? Sure. Right. But it's like, thank you. And I'm ready for the next thing. Like, Ariana's probably a little bit more flings than I was looking for, but like I learned things from previous relationships, the good, the bad, the ugly, how to treat people, learning about myself, learning about the opposite sex. Like I learned so much from these other datings that it did prepare me to be the husband that I am now. So I like that you see those as successes because I did have some successful relationships that ended, and I had some unsuccessful relationships that ended as well.
Fair. And hey, too, we told the guys and the girls, but sometimes that's a rite of passage. Like, to have some sweaty palms and be nervous to walk up and talk to a girl or, a guy. There's a female version of that too, but it's a good thing. We were made to interact with people and we were made for connection. And just because, you don't end up marrying a person doesn't mean that the connection was a dud or not, impactful in your life in some way. So I definitely agree. I love that outlook. And I will be finding a way to use that song. So thank you.
Yeah. You might have to find the clean version, but yes, you feel free to use
absolutely.
it.
For sure.
This is such a funny and kind of weird place that I'm in because I've never promoted a product that I genuinely love that I can't use. And here I am doing exactly that.
You.
So how do people sign up? How do they get connected with you? And how do I tell my single friends about it?
Thank you. Yeah, you can go to candiddating.net to create an account with us. And then we're also on socials. We're candid_dating on all platforms. And we update our Instagram daily. So you should be able to see any links or sign up forms there.
I had a weird moral conundrum earlier,
Tell me
earlier
about
this
it.
week because I knew that I was talking to you. We had scheduled this, and I
Yeah.
went and I went to the site to follow because y'all sent me all your links and stuff, and I went to go follow you on Instagram, but then I was like, I don't know. Should I tell my wife that I'm following a dating site on Instagram? And then I don't know if you've noticed, but Instagram recently has actually been helping men in the moral life by showing everyone that follows you everything you like and everything you follow.
Yes.
So I'm like, I don't want to be bombarded with messages of people asking me how my marriage is doing because I'm following
funny.
Candid Dating. So here I am to tell you, I am following it, and this is the reason. So nobody come at me for following a dating site.
Thank you. And that's very fair. We ran into that a few times with just like, does your husband know that like you, one time I told somebody that we have a dating service and they were like, does your husband know? And I was like, yeah, he's on it. If you want to go look at our Instagram, his face is right there with mine. So
that's very
yeah,
funny.
he knows.
Well, this was such a fun conversation. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for doing what you're doing
Thank
for
you.
single people.
Thank you.
I have a conversation with the person who runs the young adult group at our parish. I think she's going to be thrilled about this. So
Thank you.
I'll be sharing it here locally. Obviously, sharing it here now on our old internet channels. So this is great. Thanks so much for talking with me today.
Thank you for having me, Taylor. It was great to be with another Taylor.
I know, just the best of people. Everybody named Taylor is the best. All right, well, that's our show for today. I am Taylor Schroll. I'll be back next week. She is also Taylor, and one day we'll probably have her back and maybe another Taylor sometime within the next years. We'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you so much for watching and listening to today's show. I really want you to recommend the Candid app for any of your single Catholic friends. I think it's a really cool idea. And honestly, still a little sad that I never got to try out speed dating, but it worked out for me and my wife and my 3 kids in the end. If you enjoyed today's show, make sure you hit subscribe wherever you are watching or listening. And a reminder, please go listen to Practice of the Presence of God by Brother Lawrence over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Forte Catholic. It would be really great if you could support this new endeavor that we are diving into. Just go listen on YouTube. It really helps us out. Or donate through Forte Plus to help us out. If you want to support us financially in this kind of work, you can always do that. ForteCatholic.com/donate. We are a Catholic nonprofit, 501c3. All of your donations are tax deductible. And, get some in before the end of the year. It'll help you on your taxes next year. It'll help us out in the meantime. Love you. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.